Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Thank you everyone that submitted questions for this week's Arrow and Flash Q&A. Just a quick reminder on the schedule, it's changing just a little bit. So next week, there will be a new episode of The Flash, it's episode 7. There will be no episode of Arrow, it's going on break, so both shows can catch up with each other. The crossover episodes will both air in 2 weeks, and then the week after that, both shows will have episode 9, which will be their mid-season finales. I'll talk more about that after the Q&A. So let's get to some questions. Careful for spoilers in case you're not caught up on both of the episodes, but lots of questions about the Arrow crossover as well as the Atom costume. Question number 1, Chris McWilliams asks, are they going to be changing Ray Palmer's powers since shrinking can come off a bit silly in this day and age? So what's going to be happening with Ray Palmer is that they're just going to sidestep that whole thing with him shrinking and doing crazy powers. He'll have the suit, so he'll probably have some abilities, but they'll all be really practical. That means like super strength, maybe enhanced speed. Think like the exoskeletons that exist in real life that the military uses. If you remember during Dark Knight Rises, Batman even hooked himself into an exoskeleton because his bones were so weak. Bane was this giant dude who totally overpowered him, but when Batman put the exoskeleton on, it enabled him to match his strength. That being said, just because they're not doing powers for the Atom on Arrow doesn't mean they couldn't give him like super jumping ability. Think leaping tall buildings in a single bound, just to make a Superman joke. I don't think they're going to go straight up Iron Man with it, but it'll be something close to that. Question number 2, Darian asks, how are they going to make a Flash versus Arrow work? Flash can destroy Arrow in a flash before he can shoot an arrow. I'm glad you asked that. I know a lot of people had this question. So just remember that people's powers are all dependent upon their abilities to use those powers. Even though Barry Allen has powers, doesn't mean that he is an expert at using them. Think about how many times he's got his ass handed to him on the show so far. Add to that, if someone messes with his mind and he goes nuts, Team Flash will know how to take care of him. Remember how Cisco said he built that cold gun that Captain Cold stole to neutralize Flash because they didn't know whether Barry was going to turn out good or bad. They do have contingency plans to deal with someone with Barry's powers. On the show, I think it'll be a combination of Stephen Amell outwitting Grant Gustin as well as something that Team Flash is going to give him. Question number 3, Doctor Who Gaming asks, do you think that Iris will die? The only way I think that they would kill her is if it was part of a time travel story. They could kill her, but only if Barry went back in time, changed things, and then she wasn't dead. They're not going to kill her off the show, like she's not going to leave the show. Iris is one of the core characters to the Flash mythos. It'd be like Arrow killing Laurel off for good. Question number 4, Errors in Conduct asks, why did they bring a new love interest for Thea? He serves no purpose. You actually kind of answered your own question there. He's gonna be like the new romantic foil for Roy. I think there's something else going on there too. The real reason he's there is to be part of Thea's arc so that she has more of a story this season. He's not just gonna be a DJ, he's a recurring character, he even has a name on the show, so I'm thinking he's going to be involved with one of the villains on the show. Either that or he's gonna be working for Merlin. He could be working for Amanda Waller, he could be working for the League of Assassins, he could be working for Vertigo. There are a number of people he could turn out to be. I think the biggest complaint about him was the contrived way he came into the story. It was like that Saturday Night Live skit, When Will the Bass Drop?, where Andy Samberg plays that douchebag DJ that hits the bass drop button. The funny thing about that scene is that Cupid, the actress that plays her, said that they didn't record it with any music, like they added the music in post, so there was no sound going on whenever she was doing her phone call dialogue. Question number 5, Belly Puffy asks, do you think that Laurel will play a part in the crossover episode? Only on the Arrow side, she's not going to be going on the Flash show. Not every single character from Arrow is going to go on the Flash, and vice versa. It's just going to be the core members. I'm not sure if Roy is going to go on the Flash. I haven't seen him in any of the Flash pictures that they've posted. Remember, it's 2 episodes, so even if characters from Arrow don't go on Flash, they will be featured in the Arrow episode, and the same is true for the Flash characters that don't come on Arrow. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but once you see it, you'll totally get it. And they're going to do the same thing in the back half of the season. They'll do another big 2-part crossover. Question number 6, Isaac asks, do you think that Constantine will show up on either show at some point? Not this season. It's possible if Constantine gets canceled that he could show up on one of the shows. Matt Ryan has actually said that there's a possibility for a Constantine movie involving him. I don't think that that would happen unless the show got canceled. They have a 12-episode pickup, so they'll produce 12 episodes and air 12 episodes. In about 3 or 4 weeks, all of TV is going to go on break for just a little bit, so I think that's when they're going to say what's happening with Constantine. Question number 7, Breakfast in Bed asks, when the crossover happens, do you think the Team Flash will meet and find out who the Arrow is and also maybe Arsenal? Yes, I think that they're going to learn who everyone is. When Team Arrow goes on the Flash, they'll be inside Star Labs, so they'll see, their base. And when Team Flash goes on Arrow, they'll see the Arrow Cave. I don't know how many characters from The Flash are coming on Arrow, but I think that most of both teams will learn who everyone is. Question number 8, Fire Zero asks, do you think we'll see Abracadabra on The Flash? So for those that don't know, he is one of the rogues, but he's from the far future. There's a theory that he might be Harrison Wells. I think that's less likely given the stuff that we've learned, but it is possible we could see him. We know all the core rogues like Heatwave are going to show up in the second half of the season. Firestorm is coming. They even teased Captain Atom, so they could do Captain Atom at some point too. If they can do that, and they can do Gorilla Grodd, they can do anything. I know everyone's asking about Superman and Batman too. No, do not expect them to show up anytime soon. Those are like the only characters that are on lockdown. Question number 9, Jose Coze asks, if they did a Nightwing series and placed it in the Flash Arrow universe, how excited would you be? I would be very excited, and they actually kind of already have done that with the Teen Titans show. The show is called Titans. It's going to be on TNT. It'll be loosely connected to the Arrow Flash universe just because TNT is owned by the same network that owns the CW. Think of it as like a Constantine, Gotham, Arrow, Flash situation. They'll be loosely connected, but don't expect the actors to go on each other's shows. Because they're doing Nightwing on the Teen Titans show, the live-action show, he's not going to be showing up on Arrow anytime soon. Question number 10, Rob Ruiz asks, do you think that the Atom might get his own spin-off show like The Flash? No, but you will be happy to know that they do have plans to take him on The Flash. When I say that, I'm talking about Season 2 of The Flash. Ray Palmer isn't going to stay on Arrow forever. It's going to be like a Canary situation. They're not going to kill him off. It's just that he's a guest character. He's only meant to be there for a little while. So just like the Canary, he has a major arc in Season 3, and then we might see him like once or twice during Season 4, depending on how that ends up going. Largely though, they do have plans to give him powers, but if they did that, it would only be when he goes on The Flash. Of all the characters that Arrow and The Flash are doing right now, Ray Palmer is one of those few that has a lot in common with both the Flash comics and the Green Arrow comics. It's just really easy to use that character in both universes because he's so science-based. That being said, that doesn't mean he's confirmed to be going on The Flash Season 2 as like a main character. They'll probably announce what's going on before Comic-Con next year though, like who the big characters that are coming on are going to be. Question number 11, Ivy Hay asks, did Ray have a wife before? I don't know where I got that from, I could be wrong. You are not wrong. I know I mentioned in my Arrow video that Ray Palmer had a tragic backstory that they'd be explaining at some point. The wife is part of that. I don't know what the circumstances are going to be, but his wife did die, and that's what inspired him to become a hero, to build that suit. Still some really big questions though. We don't know what Ray Palmer's ultimate plan is, what he's actually going to do once he gets that suit, and what his ongoing relationship with Team Arrow is going to be once he does put the suit on. Just expect him to get an episode in the back half of the season where they do a complete explainer on what he's doing, where he came from, and why he's building that suit. Question number 12, Jeff Owen asks, so is Ray Palmer already the Atom? Like, does he already have his power? So, well, like I said, Arrow's not going to do any powers. He's not going to have any metahuman powers. It'll all be tech-based. Where we're seeing him on the show right now, it's right before that. It's just like Barry Allen becoming the Flash during the mid-season finale last year. I know everyone was kind of wondering about the Dwarf Star alloy. That's not going to give him special powers. It's just going to make his suit super strong and super light. Thank you so much though for submitting questions. These are always a ton of fun to do. Like I said, no new Arrow next week, but there will be a new Flash episode, and then in 2 weeks there'll be the crossover. Because there's no new Arrow, I will be doing a bonus video in place of that, so feel free to leave requests and be sure to subscribe to get everything. Just a quick video schedule update. I'm going to see Hunger Games tonight, so I'm going to try and post that review tomorrow morning, and then I also have Legend of Korra coming. And if you haven't seen me explain in the other videos, I have a new mobile feature YouTube's letting me play with, so if you're on your mobile phone or on a tablet, there are new links up here that you can click on. It's the same as the links over here. But right now, click here to catch up on Arrow this week, and click here to catch up on The Flash. Thank you so much for watching, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. High five.